hopefully it sounds good with the mic and everything, because this phone doesn't have the best audio, so we'll see. But anywho, for those who's watching this right now, listening, you don't necessarily need to watch what I'm saying. Just hear me out. So, has anyone ever seen the movie Transformers, the first one? The actor named Shia LaBeouf. He's had many things that's happened to him, or that he's really done in life. And I watched the interview that he did 2 years ago. That shit has like 10 million views because of who he is as a person and the mistakes he's made. A lot of the interview, it was him taking accountability. And instead of me sitting here talking to myself, which in a sense I'm still doing now, but I'm recording this conversation so that other people can see it in the future, and then I can see it in the future. So for those who end up seeing this, thank you. And also listen with an open heart and open mind. So there's 3 things I really learned in that interview. 3 things. Accountability is scary, transformative, and it is a ripple effect. It causes a ripple effect. Now, excuse me, the ripple effect, let's start from the top. How is taking accountability scary? Taking accountability is scary because you are basically destroying, and shit, you can even say killing, the version of you that thought whatever you did was right, but yet it destroyed so many people that you either loved, trusted, all in that category. It's scary to take accountability because it causes your ego to face its own actions, just to make it simple. And when you face your own actions, the scary thing about it is everyone else around you, including yourself, is going to how can I say this? What's good, Golden? His name is Golden Dragon. That's very cool. If you're watching this right now, please like the live. I'm talking about accountability, you know what I'm saying? So if you want to join in, the showski. So, accountability, right? It's scary, transformative, and it causes a ripple effect. You see, the ego is a part of the body, and the ego can also be part of the spirit. So I'm gonna go in 2 different directions with this. When you take accountability, your physical ego is going to do something called weaving. So for instance, a person can do something that's negative, and that person can take accountability for their negative actions. Their ego is going to fight them to the point where they either have to kill that ego, or they're going to team on the side of whatever the negative thing is. And a lot of the times we don't understand what our ego is or who our ego is, because a lot of people wear so many masks nowadays. You can meet somebody one day, they're acting one way, and you meet someone another day, they're acting another way. And because of the complexities of what makes a human human, we have so many things that makes us who we are that we forget who we are in the process. And a lot of that comes from the programming of what other people have placed on us in life. So if Miku, I'm talking about accountability. At this point, I'm gonna just continue to speak. I'm not gonna address the people who's commenting anymore. Just so I can get this out. I want to get this full thought process out. So, a lot of times, a lot of the people in the world wear masks, and the mask that they wear is based off of what people placed onto them, and the mask that they form for themselves to protect themselves. And sometimes the forms of themselves that they want to protect is genuine, is loving, is honest, is caring, is creative, imaginative, and we don't think to recognize that if you're protecting that aspect of you, then what version of you is now the protector? And a lot of times the protector can be toxic. The protector can be a police officer to the true essence of someone. So for instance, you could judge yourself 10 times more than anyone else would judge you based on the fact of what you've experienced in life. And I'm still talking about the physical ego here. You will end up judging yourself before anyone else, because before you go to bed at night, you're alone with your thoughts. Even if you're sleeping next to someone, you're 9 times out of 10 going to be alone with your thoughts. Now, if you're an empath and all these things, which I honestly think everybody are empaths in some way, shape, or form. However, you still have to sleep and go to bed with all those thoughts that manifest into your consciousness before you really go to rest. And a lot of times we don't actively take the accountability to address our actions during the day. Rather, we're reacting to traffic, to work, to our partner, to parents, to friends, to siblings, whatever. We react in such a way that can be chaotic and destructive unconsciously. And even if it's a small thing, it could lead to so many things later on. It's like an avalanche effect, you know what I'm saying? So this to end off the physical egotistical aspect of the fear of taking accountability, the summary of what I'm gonna say is that just like how we've learned to understand ourselves through the mediums that we connect to, whether it's music, video games, social media, like a lot of people, once they take away all of these external norms, they start to tap into their internal flame. And when you tap into your internal flame, you get to see all the small sparks that is causing your internal flame to be chaotic with no control. And the biggest thing in life is to flow like water. So if you learn how to flow like water, you would then learn how to, if you could flow like water, I'm trying to connect water and fire here, so give me a second. If you could flow like water, then you can warm, or I don't know. I'm taking two opposite mediums and finding a bridge in between them. I'm not going to try too hard to do it. To summarize it, to end it off, your physical ego must be handled in a way that makes you uncomfortable. And when you become uncomfortable, that's good, because that fear then turns into an acceptance. And when you accept, when you accept how scary it can be to just take accountability, that means you will get better at understanding the aspects of you that is doing such a negative, chaotic, destructive thing, especially if it's causing other people turmoil that you love or appreciate and care for, this, that, and the third. Now, your spiritual ego, that is just like how you see different religions fighting against each other, when we all have the same goal at the end of the day. The goal is to find enlightenment. I believe that your religion, your true religion, is in your genes, your genetics, your cells, your atoms, your body, your mind, your spirit, your soul, your thoughts, your feelings. All of these things are, in my opinion, your true religion. Because when you tap into you more, when you learn how to listen to you more, you will also learn how to listen to other people that help you tap into you more. So for instance, if you listen to somebody and they're making you do things that doesn't feel in alignment with your true essence, you're going to get a feeling. You may not be able to describe this feeling. You may not be able to put a name on the feeling, but what you will feel is something. And the key is, when you feel something, you're present, because you're present to that feeling. But when you're thinking, it's like you're everything everywhere all at once, because you're trying to accumulate so many things into one form. So when it comes to the spiritual ego, is finding a middle ground, finding a level of maturity. Like, it doesn't matter what religion or what someone's truths, their personal truths are. The one main thing that every human being can agree with is that we all want to live and experience something. And because we all want to live and experience something, that itself is why we should learn different forms, different ways of learning, gaining spiritual knowledge, gaining emotional intelligence, gaining the ability to connect with nature, gaining the ability to connect with our own nature, which is our body, being able to tame our beast, which is our body, being able to tame and understand our mind, which is our spirit, being able to do these things while in the physical flesh, because it allows you to appreciate the multi-complexities of what it means to be alive. I'm gonna give y'all a real life example. I was watching Nick Cannon's Council Culture, and he had Najee Muhammad, and very educational, very smart brother. And I had a question when he was speaking, because a lot of Muslim or Islamic, I don't know the right term, so don't get on me. They always say, I give, like they'll, just like how Christians say God, they'll say, I learned this for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I'm not trying to downplay or anything like that. It always dawned on me that people give more praise to someone outside of them, or more acknowledgement to someone outside of them, without the balance of understanding the work they went through. Now, I may be wrong in the way I say it. It's just an opinion. It's just the way people show their praise. Sometimes it gets me. And I had to address my spiritual ego, and I'll be like, why do I even feel that way in the first place, when at the same time, all he wants is for, in the sense of that conversation I was listening to, all he wants is for black people to finally become who they are truly meant to be. And a lot of times, the best way to become greater than what you were, you have to lose yourself. So like, the essence of black people or melanated people, I honestly feel like, well, fuck all that, fuck the feelings right now. Truthfully, we know that black people are the original people of the planet. And the fact that they've lost themselves for so many years now, and we're slowly finding ourselves every single second, every single minute and moment, that gives us a chance to be better and greater than what we were before, because now we have examples of what we don't want to be. And because of that example, that's funny, it's a Mercury going to the right. That means I'm talking my shit and it's right. Anywho, a lot of times I've noticed that I kind of lost my train of thought. I was talking about Muhammad, Okay, cool. So, if you're watching this, please hit the like button, just so I can reach more people. And subscribe. I've noticed that it doesn't matter how someone shows their praise and show these other things. The more important things is we need to ask the right questions. And that's the same thing that when it comes to your spiritual ego. Sometimes it is scary. It is scary for us to legitly ask our own self, why did we think that? And then be patient enough to understand where this answer or what this answer may be, and what caused its expression to even come the way that it did. You see, a lot of people have followed certain people and taken on their ideologies and slowly become like miniature versions of them. And theoretically, we're low-key miniature versions of everyone we talk to and appreciate and acknowledge in our life. However, when do we get back to the origin? When do we get back to the true essence of who we are? And then, just like a video game, you have a book bag full of inventory. All the people and experiences that you have had in your life are versions, or not versions, are tools in your book bag that you can use as inventory from all the people that you've listened to, that you've learned from, that you've talked to. All of those things, these are different forms of inventory. So to understand and break free of the fearful spiritual ego is to learn how to do a better job of getting back to your true essence, like knowing who you are and knowing why you do certain things. Like there's a subconscious reason, a spiritual reason why you work the job you work. There's a spiritual reason you drive the car you drive. There's a spiritual reason why you're going through the situations that you're going through. And once you're able to lock in on what that spiritual reason is, you get to have a higher sense of appreciation and emotional intelligence for what it is, which then allows your ego, physical ego, to understand what we're going through. Because you need your ego as far as like when you have competitive spirit, that's a competitive ego. You need that to push you, you know what I'm saying? To have you do great things. And then your spiritual ego, okay, how like your spiritual ego would take a certain situation that you're in or the job you're working or whatever. When you type into these certain things, your spiritual ego allows itself to expand on the meaning of whatever it is that you're going through, whatever it is that you're seeing, whatever it is that you're experiencing. You know what I'm saying? So it's beauty in that. There's beauty in that. And this leads me to number 2 of why accountability is also not only scary, which I just explained, and also how it can be transformative. When you start to slowly transform who you are, you begin to recognize the false ideologies that you've taken in that don't match with who you are anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, even for instance, I told myself a while back, even because I'm not in my car right now, I'm in my mom's car. I told myself, I was like, yo, until we get our car back, we're gonna go live like every Thursday. You know what I'm saying? Use Thursday, you know, Thor Day, Throat Chakra Day, you know what I'm saying, as a way to communicate and just talk about things we've learned. But in reality, the most authentic way of communication is just to flow in the moment and not necessarily try to always schedule it. It helps to schedule it because you can prepare and do what you need to do. But then when it gets to a point when you're trying to structure something that's supposed to be a flow, it doesn't give you the greatest way of expressing on whatever it is you need to express. And what I just said now is like a split second of right before I got to this live, because I was gonna question, should I go live now? And I said, fuck it, let's do it. Let's just hop on now, because I don't want to just keep this to myself when I know other people may need to hear this. And then on top of that, I can go listen to this later in the future and use this as a form of like, okay, I know I talked about accountability in the past. Let me go listen to this and see if the old version of me, right, as weeks ago, months ago, years ago, whatever, and how can I recenter myself with who I am, with what I've said before, and then is what I said before still what I'm doing now, or do I need to adjust and make something greater or do something greater? Transforming who you are is literally like powering up, like Dragon Ball Z type of shit. Like when you see transformations in anime shows, like for those who've seen Solo Leveling, or let me charge my phone. For those who've seen Solo Leveling or One Piece, or, you know what I'm saying? So many animes out there. Those are just the two that came on top of the head. But in every animated show, we are animated beings. However, sometimes we don't recognize how animated that we are, with all the facial expressions we make, with all the body movements that we do. We're animated. We animate the things around us in our life. And because we are animated, when we watch shows like anime, it shows us the possibilities of what we go through internally, or what we go through in spirit and soul. Like those things are important. Even though it's a cartoon, it's a show, someone drew it, but that drawing or that animation came from that person's mind or that person's soul. They felt a flow that other people can appreciate just as much as them. So they are going to, you know what I'm saying, continue to build whatever they're building. And this is all circling back to transformation. Like, when you take accountability for yourself, not only you face your fears, you face what's fucking scary, and then you also do a greater job. Come on, guys, make a move. Y'all do a better job, excuse me, of transforming yourself, and then acknowledging what this transformation does to you. Like, for instance, your core self is, I don't believe your core self is just your beliefs. Your core self is what you believe is true. And your core self constantly evolves, constantly changes, constantly grows. So you're not going to be the same person you was in high school. You're not going to be the same person you was in college. You're not going to be the same person you was, you know what I'm saying, running a business the first 2 years compared to year 10. You're going to consistently grow and evolve, and the true essence of who you are, whether it's your personality and all of those things, they develop different viewpoints, different perspectives of how to handle whatever situation they're going through. And then when you go through these transformative states and you be able to do what you need to do to align yourself with whatever it is that you're trying to do, you got to recognize, if you're transforming, you're going to start seeing people and life differently. And as you see people and life differently, it's going to be scary, which goes back to accountability, to part one accountability, or let's say book one, lesson one, I don't know, just having fun with it. It goes back to one, and one, which is the scary part, is that you're going to end up having to let people go. You're going to end up having to stop old habits. You're going to end up not having to eat the same way. I have a problem with changing how I eat, because sometimes a nigga don't have the shit I need to eat. But it's okay, because each step in each day is a progression. Even if I don't have the foods I really want to eat, or can be the most nutritional, I can still be active with being accountable for what thoughts are manifesting, or how I feel. And the last thing, ripple effect, domino effect, avalanche effect. The domino, avalanche, are all of these different effects that goes through you facing your fears and you being okay with transforming who you are, letting go of things that don't serve you anymore. Just like how, what's the name? Goku goes straight to Super Saiyan God, or Super Saiyan Blue, or Ultra Instinct. Goku don't go Super Saiyan 2 or 3 no more. We ain't seen Goku go Super Saiyan 3 since goddamn 2017, when he fought Beerus the first time and got his ass waxed. We ain't seen that since. He goes straight to Red, goddamn Blue, and Ultra Instinct. If not, he's in base form. He's transformed himself to the point where he don't really use them forms. And then he'll go like Super Saiyan 1, like, you know what I'm saying? But he won't go 2 and 3. So it's reasons and levels to why people do certain things, and you got to understand to accept people for who they are. And this is the ripple effect. The ripple effect is you're going to have to accept the fact that you're changing and you can't do the same old shit anymore. And then it's one of two things that's going to happen, because you're going to transform. People transform every day. That's real shit. People go through a little bit of transformation every day. Even me doing this video right now is transforming me little by little. So as you're transforming yourself, you're gonna have two different routes, because everyone has a choice. It's really multiple routes. There's so many, but the two main ones is either you're going to start building, or you're going to start falling. Now, building or falling all depends on perspective. You could fall, and then that fall leads to a great rise. You can build, but you build in toxicity. You can build, and build greatness, success. You can fall and fall into success. So it's different forms of what I'm saying. It's whichever aligns with you. And it's important to know that what you do with your transformation literally depends on how these ripple effects unfold. What you do with your transformation directly responds to how these ripple effects unfold. And it's just as simple as that. You know what I'm saying? It's just as simple as that. So I'm gonna do this from now on. Not literally like hop on and just talk randomly, but if I have something I really want to build on and just talk about, I'm gonna just hop on. I'm not gonna schedule. I'm not gonna do all this shit. If I feel like talking and doing a live video, I'm gonna talk and do a live video. Because why? I have a responsibility of giving when I have a gift of speaking. So that's what I'm gonna do. So if you're here right now, you listen to this 26 minutes of me expressing accountability in 3 different forms, I appreciate you. And yeah, man. So yeah, it's beautiful how it just flowed naturally too. Like, yeah, man. All right, love y'all. Have a good one.